acknowledged there. You're beyond by you. I now call on the International Trade Union Confederation. You have the floor.
Thank you very much. I'm here on behalf of 4 global trade union federations. We represent about 70 million women workers around the world. And we're very happy to be able to bring our message to you today. Trade unions are key stakeholders in the achievement of gender equality, human rights, and sustainable development. Decent work, access to free, universal, quality public education, and quality public services are fundamental to achieving these goals and are at the core of the messages we want to deliver regarding the MDG framework and the post-2015 agenda. There's broad recognition that a major failure of the MDG framework was its indifference to inequality. Its successor global framework cannot fail to address it. To address and redress income inequality, the post-2015 development agenda must, above all, focus on employment, well-being, and security. This means that it must also address gender inequity in the labor market, that is, recognizing the disproportionate number of women in precarious employment who receive low wages and less protections, and it must also address social policies. This requires labor policies and laws to protect all workers, whether in the informal or formal economy, and to ensure compliance instead of impunity of anti-discrimination and minimum wage legislation, as well as core ILO labor standards. In addition, gender-sensitive policies that take account of the constraints and the discrimination faced by women, and especially of the unpaid care work carried out by women, must be designed and implemented. We need to see caregiving as a collective responsibility and recognize the important role that quality public services like housing, childcare, transportation, sanitation, play in reducing the burden of care work on women and girls. Trade unions can play a key role in the fair distribution of both income and power, and must be at the forefront of policy debate related to social and economic inequality. The post-2015 development agenda must encompass objectives for labor, including freedom of association, collective bargaining, and minimum wages, which play crucial roles in reducing income inequality. To address the economic and social inequality effectively, the post-2015 development agenda must provide an earmarked policy space for government and social partners to define and then implement efficient policies for employment and for social transfer, at the same time as carving out public services from trade agreements. But inequality cannot be addressed through economic and labor policies alone. The post-2015 agenda must include a goal on the implementation of social protection floors, as defined in the Bachelet Report and the ILO Recommendation 202 that sets an international standard to be applied at a national level. To truly reverse the growing inequality and strive to achieve equity, targets must be established for the basic social security guarantees that include universal access to essential health care and basic income security to protect standards of living when people are sick, unemployed, disabled and old, or cannot work when having to care for infants or sick family members. Inclusion in society is the only means to the full enjoyment of all human rights and fundamental freedoms. As trade unions, we also demand a standalone sustainable development goal on gender equality that includes targets and indicators aimed at the gender wage gap, in particular references to equal pay for work of equal value, for women's participation in leadership, the unpaid care economy and its impact on women's ability to fully enjoy their economic and social, cultural, and political rights, women's access to education, information, land, and credit, to stop and prevent violence against women and girls, and fair portrayal of women in the media. The gender equality goal must be grounded
Madam, thank you very much for your statement. And please